There we go. Welcome to Quizzit, the only live and interactive quiz on YouTube. And if you can hear me, please say hi. There we go. Hi, Lucy, Revolver, Zombie Man, Magic Cat, Malthus was right, Robin, Roy, Peter, Alba, Jody, New Life, Studio, Pippa Jones, Barbara Wallace, Sarah Patrick, Lillian, I think you're new, TKR, Vincent, Delboy, Platinum Rose Lady. Well, hello to everyone, and welcome to Quizzit. Andy says he can hear me. That's good news. And welcome to the only live and interactive quiz on YouTube. We are about a minute or so away from starting. I just wanted to do a little test, an audio-visual test. I'm guessing that you can see me. I'm guessing that you can hear me. And that's all good news, because being seen and being heard makes this much easier. We are going to begin at 11 o'clock, and when we hit 11 o'clock, I'll go over some instructions. If you are new, howdy GMAC. If you are new to the channel, if you're new to the quiz, I'll explain how this all works. It is very simple, very straightforward. Nothing fancy around here. You just have to type in your answers and we'll see how you do. And as usual, we have some cash prizes at the end, and I'll explain how that works as well. Hey, look at that. It's 11 o'clock. Well, we are just about to get rolling, and hopefully we'll pick up a few more people along the way. We don't have a huge crowd, but I suspect in the next 5 minutes or so we'll get a few more people along. So I want to welcome you all to the live and interactive quiz, and this is going to be the usual 24 questions, various different topics, and it's really quite simple. So let me begin by throwing up the instructions and letting you know how this works. First of all, I'm going to read you a question, and I'll give you 4 options. The options will be numbered 1, 2, 3, or 4. And all you have to do is type your response into the chat window. That's it. Just a 1, a 2, a 3, or a 4. You hit enter, and as soon as you hit enter, the system picks up your response. Only your first response will count. So if you type in the number 1 because you think it was number 1 and then you change your mind before the timer runs out, it's too late. You've put in your answer. That's the one that will count. Feel free to chat between the questions. Feel free to chat anytime you like. Just be aware that during the questions, it is going to pick up your response in chat. Here's how the scoring works today, same as usual. If you are the first player to get the correct answer, you're going to get 12 points. If you're the second player to get the correct answer, you will get 11 points. And every player after that to get the correct answer is going to receive 10 points. After that, if you get it wrong, you get no points. So the minimum you can get for getting a correct answer is 10 points. But the reason we have the 11 and the 12 is we want to separate those up at the top so we don't have any ties. We've been close a few times to having a tie. Hasn't happened yet. I've decided that if we do have a tie on score, for example, at the end of the quiz, if we have for, let's say, third place, if 2 people have the same score of 150, then I'm going to select the person who provided the correct answer the earliest in the last question. Okay? And if they didn't both do it, whichever question where they both answered correctly, whichever one of them provided the correct answer the earliest. And as we go along, I learned things along the way. And just so you know, I've had a few people have commented on the scoring and how they don't particularly like it and it's not great. Well, I will repeat what I've said many times before. The system itself, as far as keeping score, as far as recording your score, it's not perfect. This is something that a very smart fella named Max put together. He's created a program that somehow, and I don't know how to do it. This is like magic to me. it collects your response from the chat and somehow tracks that and applies a score to it. It's amazing as far as I'm concerned. So it's not perfect. I just want you to know, if it doesn't pick up a score along the way, it doesn't pick up a score along the way, whether it's you or somebody else. Now, of course, if it happens to you, it's not fun, but it could just as easily happen to someone else. So we're going with whatever the system collects. If the system is not perfect and is not accurate, we're still going with the system anyway. Secondly, at the end of this, it is because I've decided I'd like to give some prizes that we're giving prizes. We don't have to give prizes of any kind, but I felt it would be kind of fun, a little bit of extra fun to have some cash prizes. And I've had some people who have let me know that they weren't particularly happy with how the scoring went. So just be aware that at the end, if you don't agree with the scoring, then fair enough, but we're going with the way I say it. And if you're not happy with that, I'm sure you'll be happier with the other live quiz going on the other YouTube channel. So just be aware, we're doing the best we can. But anyway, you get the idea. So that's how the scoring works. And we're going to take a look at the prizes. Take a look below. We have 3 prizes today as usual. And we have $25 Canadian, $15 Canadian, and $10 Canadian, or the equivalent. So if you're from the UK, if you're from the United States, or perhaps somewhere else in the world, whatever the equivalent would be. Last week's winners, Robin Mandelbaum, Cotton, and Planet Res. Those are the 3 cash prize winners. Please remember, you can only win 1 cash prize during a calendar month. And I've changed that, and it's going to be a rolling month, so 28 days. So, because it kind of wouldn't make sense to say, well, you can only win 1 cash prize in a calendar month, realizing, of course, today, if you win a prize, the next week would be another calendar month and you could win again. So we're doing a rolling month. That means 28 days. So if you have won a cash prize within the last 28 days, you won't be able to win one until the 28 days have passed since you got your cash prize. Anyway, there you go. Now, I'd like you to pay close attention. Whoops, I'm pointing the wrong way. To this. Check this out. We have a sponsor today. We really do have a sponsor today. And some of you, my regulars, might recognize this name. I'm going to call it Hampstead. I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but it looks to me like it could be Hampstead. Someone from the UK, so I'm guessing it probably is Hampstead. And this is someone who actually won one of the quizzes a few quizzes back and went online to buy me a coffee and bought me a whole bunch of coffees and said, here you go, you can use these. I would like to sponsor the quiz. So I would love to shake Hampstead's hand. I can't do that, but I can thank Hampstead and say that, oh, there's Hampstead right there. Hey, how you doing? So Hampstead, yeah, I'm guessing that's where you're from perhaps, or you have some affinity to the place. So Hampstead is today's sponsor. And I imagine Hampstead in his estate out on the moors, smoking cigars and lighting them with $100 bills. That's my image of Hampstead in my head, who's got so much money he can throw $50 at the Quizzit quiz. And where can you buy Hampstead's fabulous products? That really is the question, people. I'm not sure what Hampstead sells, but whatever he does sell, I think you should all buy it. By the way, we don't have Mio as a sponsor anymore, but that doesn't stop me from telling you how much I enjoy Mio. Squirt a little, squirt a lot. It is delicious and refreshing. If you're hot today, and I imagine some of you are in places that are very hot, give yourself a Mio and cool off. So, yeah, Hampstead's clothing line, I'm hearing it is going to be really, really sleek. But it's all in black. I'm not too sure why. Black, lots of V-necks as well. I just saw some templates for it. Everything is black, lots of V-necks and bell bottoms. That is the Hampstead line from what I understand. So we're going to get back to the quiz, and hopefully you don't have any questions. If you do, feel free to pop them into the chat, and hopefully I'll see him. Just so you know, I've got 3 screens going on, and sometimes I do miss a little bit with the chat. Let me just go one place here, and we'll get that in a sec. Okay, so we are going to start the quiz, and just so you know, if you're new here, again, welcome. When you see the question, and there will be 24 questions, when you see the question, as soon as you see the question, that's when you can type in your score. You don't have to wait for me to finish reading the question. You don't have to wait for me to finish reading the response options. So as soon as it is like mission control, as soon as you see that question, if you think you know the answer, 1, 2, 3, or 4, bang, pop it in there. GMAC, as we all know, is very quick. He doesn't always get them right, but he usually does, and he does get them in very quickly. So if you want to try to keep up, go for it quickly. But again, you're not going to get a huge advantage by getting it in quickly. Only the first and second people, and they're only going to get 1 or 2 extra points. So the object here is to get the right answer. And one last thing I'm going to mention about the quiz. Today's quiz is going to be a toughie. And by that I mean each question is legitimate. These are real things that you may or may not know, but they are perhaps a little bit more obscure. Not on all of them, but on some of them. So that may separate people a little bit. At the end of every 4th question, at the end of every category, we're going to do a update and look at the running total and see how we're doing. So let's cross our fingers. I'm going to hit start. This should work. I believe it should work. And if it does, we will be ready to go. So I'm going to hit start, and I'm going to read the question to you. As soon as you see the question, here we go. The Danube River begins its journey in Germany, but into which sea does it empty? Is it the Baltic, the Adriatic, the Black, or the Aegean? This is a geography question, of course. The Danube River, which begins in Germany, finishes its European tour in which sea? Is it the Baltic, the Adriatic, the Black, or the Aegean? You have 6 seconds left. Type in that answer. And let's see how we did on this one. It is the Black Sea. The last country through which it passes is Romania, on the kind of the southeast coast of Romania, and it goes into the Black Sea. And let's see how we did on question number 1. Just so you know, the answer is going to remain on the screen for 20 seconds, and then we're going to move on to the scores. And here we go. For question number 1, GMAC came in first, Malthus was right, and then Roy, Barbara, Teak, Spliff is new. Oh, here we go. Question 2. Mount Fuji is found on which of these main Japanese islands? Kyushu, Hokkaido, Okinawa, or Honshu? There are actually 5 main islands in Japan, but these are 4 of them. And we're looking for the island where you would find Mount Fuji. Kyushu, Hokkaido, Okinawa, or Honshu? Sorry, we were a little bit quick jumping into question number 2, but I forgot we've only got 10 seconds to look at the scores. 4 seconds left. Get your answers in. The answer is Honshu. That is the biggest island in Japan. It's where you would find Mount Fuji. And, you know, I'm going to see if I can do a small adjustment to this. I think I've probably got a little bit too long on the answer page and not enough on the score. But as soon as you see the score, the next question's coming up in 10 seconds. So here are the scores. GMAC was first, followed by Teak, Vandergarden, Roy, Jody, Hampstead, GeoWiz, Lucy, Robin, Malthus, and the Zombie Man. Question number 3. On which continent will you find the Atacama Desert? Atacama. Is it North America, South America, Africa, or Antarctica? The Atacama Desert. North America, South America, Africa, or Antarctica? 10 seconds left. And the timer is up, and South America is your answer. If you said South America, you would be correct. Who did say South America? Well, we're going to find out in just a few moments. I think GMAC was in there first. Keeping in mind, of course, GMAC knows he's not going to be able to win a cash prize. He's just going for the glory because he loves to test himself. Oh, Teak was ahead on that one. Look at that. Teak. Then GMAC. Gene, Peter, Jerry, Geo, Anime Bleach Babe. Malthus was right. Question number 4. The capital city of which Middle Eastern country was once known as Philadelphia? Is it Syria, Lebanon, Yemen, or Jordan? This is the last geography question. The capital city of which Middle Eastern country was once known as Philadelphia? It isn't anymore. It is not anymore. The answer is Jordan. The capital city used to be Philadelphia because there was a one of the Ptolemies, Ptolemy II, I think it was. What did he call himself? Ptolemy II Philadelphus, I think. He called it Philadelphia, but I guess Terry has decided to answer with letters. Perhaps that may work as well. Can anyone tell me what the capital of Jordan is today? Anybody know? I'm sure somebody knows. Amman, Jordan. Yes, Amman, Jordan is the name today, but it was once Philadelphia. So let's see how we did on that one. I paused things for a moment, but we're going to move on to the scores, and then I'm going to show you the update, and that should show us the full leaderboard. So let's pause this scoreboard. Peter, Barbara, Jerry, Spliff, Linda, Tron, TKR, Roy, GMAC, and Sugar Shark 7. Those are the scores for that, and I'm going to see if I can update the leaderboard. Let's do a refresh, and let's see if this works. Top right-hand corner, right above my head, there we go. We have the overall scores right above me. GMAC is in first with 45 points, followed closely by Teak, Malthus, Robin, the Zombie Man, Linda, Tron, Vincent, Jessica, lots of 40s in there. So you are all well within striking distance of first place. So I'm going to continue, and we are going to move on to section number 2. So the next question is coming right up in about 3 seconds. Something like that. Here we go. This is all about computers. What does the letter S stand for in DSL for the transmission of digital data? Is it security, server, subscriber, or script? So DSL. It is an acronym, and we want to know what the letter S stands for in DSL. And these next 4 questions are going to be all acronyms about computers. Here we go. The answer is subscriber. DSL is digital subscriber line. And it looks like we may have lost a few people on that one. I think these next 3 questions might trip a few people up. We are going to be talking about computers and acronyms for each. So let's see how the scoring went for that one. Gene, Geody, the Zombie Man, Magic Hat, Malthus, Kirk, Brian, Lucy, GMAC, and Linda. Here we go. Question number 6. What does the letter C stand for in CMOS semiconductor technology? Is it command, complementary, computer, or compile? CMOS semiconductor technology. While I have a sip of Mio. What does the letter C stand for? Six seconds left. The answer is complementary. Complementary metal oxide semiconductor is the full name, but the C is complementary. And we are all over map with this one. We've got lots of different guesses. This is going to separate some people as we move forward. Here's how you did on that one. Lucy, Brian, Tron, Geody, GeoWiz, Big Daddy Blue, Jerry, Peter, Gene, and Spliff. Wow, lots of wrong answers. Question 7. What does the letter I stand for in basic computer programming language? Is it icon, interface, integer, or instruction? The zombie man doesn't agree. I'm not sure what he doesn't agree with, but I'm sure he'll let me know. What does the letter I stand for in basic computer programming language? One second left, and the answer is instruction. Beginner's all-purpose instruction code. That is the I in basic. Let's see. And Terry is typing in letters, and letters are actually acceptable. I never told you that. I didn't want to mess you up. Gene, GMAC, Roy, DB Sagacious. There you are. Anime, Bleach Babe, Magic Cat, Hampstead, Brian, Kirk, and Vincent. Next question's coming up right now. What does the letter M stand for in HTML, a language used to create web pages? Is it macro, media, memory, or markup? And we have a mix of answers. Four seconds left. Get those answers in. It is markup, hypertext markup language, HTML. And if you were creating a website, you may have used HTML code along the way. So once we get the scores for this one, I'm going to pause. This is the end of section 2. Glad that round is over, says Del Boy. Yeah, that was a toughie. No question about it. Here's how you did. GMAT came in first, followed by Gene, Hampstead, Linda, Robin, Kirk, DB Sagacious, Brian, TKR, and Del Boy. Those were your top 10 for that question. We are going to refresh the full leaderboard, and this is going to tell us where we stand after 8 questions after round number 2. Look right above me, and you will see we have a leader with 81 points, Brian 52008, Tron 3205, followed closely by GMAC. And then we have the usual suspects, Robin, Linda, Jessica, Sarah, Steve, and Revolver, all with 70 points. And that means they've all got 7 correct and missed one of them. And we're moving on to the next section. So the first question is coming up. I think it's either music. I think it might be music. It is. Which of these bands is known for the 1982 Rocky III theme song, Eye of the Tiger? Is it Foreigner, Survivor, Journey, or Def Leppard? One of those 4 bands is the band behind It's the Eye of the Tiger, it's the thrill of the fight, rising up to the something of our rival. I'm not sure what it is. 7 seconds left. Get it in. Who is it? I don't think we stumped too many people on this one. The answer is Survivor. They did Eye of the Tiger from Rocky III. Rocky III, was that? I think Rocky III was with Ivan Drago. That was filmed here in Vancouver, believe it or not. The challenge of our rival. Thank you very much. Teak came in first, followed by GMAC, Jerry, Cockney Carnivore, Lucy, Brisson, Peter, the Zombie Man. Now, this next question is very curious. There's weird lyrics. Oh, no, sorry, this isn't the one. Who sang the song Back on the Chain Gang? The Chain Gang, as lead vocalist for the Pretenders. Is it Bonnie Tyler, Joan Jett, Grace Slick, or Chrissy Hind? One of these singers is the singer from the Pretenders. She sang Back on the Chain Gang. Drago was Rocky IV. Bonnie Tyler, Joan Jett, Grace Slick, or Chrissy Hind? Who was it? The answer is Chrissy Hind. Back on the Chain Gang. Ooh and ah and all that stuff. Yes, it was Rocky IV, was Ivan Drago. That was filmed here in Vancouver. And if you are from the Pacific Northwest, you might know the Pacific Coliseum where the Canucks play. That's where the fight was. Hey, this next question is about weird lyrics. One of these, Malthus, Jerry, Gene, Jody, G-Mac, Cockney Carnivore, Anime Bleach Babe, Peter, Melissa, and Platinum. For this next question, it's a weird lyric. Who sang it? Which singer actually sang the following line? What about elephants? Have we lost their trust? That's a line from a song. Is it Michael Jackson, Frank Sinatra, David Bowie, or Freddie Mercury? Who sang that line? What about elephants? Have we lost their trust? I don't know about you, but I find that a little curious. A little bit strange. Someone said they started on 5. Are you too late? No, never too late. Daz, welcome. Michael Jackson sang that line from Earth Song. Is it called Earth Song? I think so. Earth Song. Where he's going on, what about water? What about the trees? What about the birds? What about elephants? Yeah, Wacko Jacko. Earth Song, that's it. A beautiful song if you like pretty music, but just kind of weird. Cockney Carnivore, Peter, Jerry, Sugar Shark, G-Mac. Here we go, question number 12. In 1966, Question Mark and the Mysterians sang a song about how many tears? Was it 25, 69, 96, or 200? I was going to put the name as a question mark, but sometimes they do go as just Question Mark and the Mysterians. But they had a song in 1966. Turned out to be a pretty big hit. One-hit wonders. But if you're going to have one hit and that's your hit, that's a pretty good one. It was 96 Tears. And a very groovy, kind of funky, psychedelic keyboard in the background. And who got that one and how did they do? And then we're going to update the main leaderboard. We had Gene in first place. Let me pause this for a moment. Gene, Jody, G-Mac, Jerry, Anime Bleach Babe, Hampstead, Platinum Rose Lady, New Life Studio, MG2175, and then Malthus was right. Those are your, that's the order for the answers on that one. But let's do an update of the main overall scoreboard and see how we're doing. Have some Mio if you haven't already. Tron is still hanging in there. G-Mac right behind, nipping at his heels with 119. Brian 52008 must have missed one along the way. Robin, Linda, Jessica, Steve, Revolver, and New Life Studio. We have a tight race. This is going to be a pretty close one, and we're going to see how we do. Let me just do this. Okay, we're halfway through, and normally at this point I would be holding a glass of Mio and telling you that our sponsor is Mio. But they've never really been our sponsor, of course. But I really like Mio, so I just figured I'd use that. But we do have a sponsor this week, which I think is fantastic. And I really want to give my appreciation. That didn't really come out right, but you get the idea. I want to thank Hampstead for sponsoring today's quiz. What does that mean? That means that, that he basically gave me $50 and said, here, use this to pay your prizes for the quiz. So thank you very much. How did he do it? He went to Buy Me a Coffee, and this is where you can do it too. I'm going to pin this because some people have asked, how do I do this? And basically it's just a place where it's a one-time thing. You're not signing up for anything. You're not registering for anything. You basically are just buying me a coffee in the amount of $5. Yeah, I know that's an expensive coffee, or a Mio, or whatever you want to do. But it is a place, if you would like to support the channel financially, you're welcome to do so. But thank you so much to Hampstead for sponsoring this week's video. That is very cool. And again, Hampstead, if you have something that you do want to sell or want to promote, or if you just want to tell us all to strive for world peace, the floor is yours for the next 20 seconds. So by all means, let us know what's on your mind. This is your 20 seconds. I'm just going to sit here and sip some Mio while Hampstead tells us something, whatever it might be. Go ahead. Hampstead is very quiet or very shy or something. Or my internet isn't working. I'm not sure which one it is. Seems to be working. Okay, we're going to move on to the next set of questions. This is section. Hampstead says, I want to tell everyone to sponsor a quiz too. His 20 seconds of fame. What you could do is, if you don't feel like sponsoring a quiz, you could hit the like button and give the video a thumbs up. That would really be appreciated. It does help us grow the channel. It does help me push this out to more people, so we can get more people here, so we can become the biggest and best quiz channel on YouTube. So here we go. Let's move on. Thank you once again, Hampstead. And Jerry, yes, I should mention, Jerry sponsored half a quiz a few weeks ago. We had Lucy, who is a sponsor to the channel, and we've had a few others as well, and I want to thank you all. It is much appreciated. So here we go. Let us move on to our next set of questions, and this is all about movies. Who produced and directed the 1987 fantasy comedy The Princess Bride? Is it Barry Levinson, John Landis, Rob Reiner, or Terry Gilliam? One of those four is the producer and director of The Princess Bride. It started off slow, and then it started to grow, as they would say in The Grinch. It became a cult classic, and many people call this their favorite movie of all time. If you haven't seen it, if you like a love story, if you like a happy ending, try The Princess Bride by Rob Reiner. He's done some great movies, I got to tell you. For a meathead, pretty good. He also did Spinal Tap, by the way, in case you didn't know that. So let's see how we did on that one. Teak was first, followed by Lucy, G-Mac, Hampstead, Jean, Jody, Linda, Robin, Cockney Carnivore, and Roy. No slowing down. We are moving directly on to question number 14. Which actor plays a malfunctioning robotic gunslinger in the 1973 sci-fi western Westworld? Is it Clint Eastwood, Yul Brynner, Charles Bronson, or Jack Palance? Or Jack Palance? I can't remember how he says it. Palance or Palance? I think he says Palance. So, a malfunctioning robotic gunslinger in Westworld. Is it Clint Eastwood, Yul Brynner, Charles Bronson, or Jack Palance? He who does push-ups with one arm at the Oscars. But no, it was Yul Brynner. Yul Brynner, who made a bald head sexy all those many years ago. So it is written, so it shall be done. He was also the Pharaoh in the Ten Commandments. He was also the king in The King and I. But that was not the movie we're talking about here. Gene, G-Mac, Hampstead, DB Sagacious, Jody, Cockney, Platinum, Sugar Shark, Teak, and Peter. Here we go, moving on to your next movie question. Who played Danny Ocean in the original 1960 heist film Ocean's 11? Is it Frank Sinatra, Steve McQueen, Dean Martin, or Paul Newman? One of those fellas was, and he was also in The Magnificent Seven, yes. One of those fellas was Danny Ocean in the original Ocean's 11. Not everyone knows there was an original. There was not the version you might know from the 2000s. But everyone seems to know it was Frank Sinatra, the leader of the Rat Pack. I threw Dean Martin in to try to throw you off, but it looks like I didn't throw anybody off at all. Everybody knew it was Frank Sinatra. Everybody except Quizzit. Old Blue Eyes. Yes, he was a mobster. I'll give you my impression of Frank Sinatra. Do you want to see my impression of Frank Sinatra? Here's my impression of Frank Sinatra. A good singer connected to the mob. That's my impression. Your impression? Here we go. Question number 16. Which of the four Baldwin brothers played Michael McManus in The Usual Suspects? Is it Alec Baldwin, Daniel Baldwin, Billy Baldwin, or Stephen Baldwin? There's lots of Baldwins. Which one was in The Usual Suspects? Is it Alec, Daniel, Billy, or Stephen? I still remember him in the lineup holding the gun. I can't say what he said because he swore, but it was Stephen Baldwin. Yes, they all kind of look the same. So if you got this one wrong, you cannot be blamed for getting it wrong because all the Baldwin brothers, they kind of all look the same. But it was Stephen Baldwin. The Usual Suspects. Another great movie. Another great movie. And how did we do on that one? Gene, Michael, Delboy, Anime, Sugar Shark, Andy, Hampstead, Spliff, Cuts the Chapin got that one right. And then Melissa. Here we go. It is your last movie question. In which country are the 2000... Oh, no, that was the last one. We're into the Olympics. Here we go. In which country are the 2024 Summer Olympics expected to be held? Is it USA, France, Russia, or Japan? These next 4 questions are all about the Olympics. Is it USA, France, Russia, or Japan? I say where are they expected to be held because with everything going on in the world, you never know. You can't really bet too much money on anything nowadays. But we do expect they will be held in France, the 2024 Summer Olympics. Now, these next 3 questions after this, they are all going to be about the Olympics. Let's see how much you know about the Olympics. But they're kind of obscure. This is where we're going to lose a few people. So how did we do on that one? Lucy, GMAC, Malthus, Michael, Teak, Hampstead, the Zombie Man, DP Sagacious, Linda, and Robin. So here we go. This is also a question that we would say is Olympic oriented. How many pounds does a men's Olympic shot put weigh? Is it 10, 12, 14, or 16? They perch it up here on their shoulder under their chin and they give it a spin and out it goes. How many pounds is the shot put? The men's shot put. I believe there is another weight for the women's shot put, which I imagine would be a little less. But for the men, is it 10, 12, 14, or 16? 2 seconds left. The answer is 16. The shot put, that's a lot of weight to have up on your shoulder. 16 pounds. It is astounding how far they heave that thing. And you just push it. You literally just push it out from your shoulder. It's amazing to watch. How did we do on that one, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Terry the Berry, GMAC, Linda, Cockney Carnivore, Zombie Man, Robin, DB Sagacious, Hampstead, Teak. Now, for these next 2 questions, we're talking about events that were or were not in the Olympics. Which of these will not be a medal event at the 2024 Summer Olympics? Handball, skateboarding, breakdancing, or softball? One of these will not. The other 3 will. So one of these will not be a medal event at the 2024 Summer Olympics, but the other 3 will. Which one will not be? Is it handball, skateboarding, breakdancing, or softball? And the answer is not breakdancing. Let me repeat. The answer is not breakdancing. This is not an error by Mr. Q. It is softball. I'm just going to pause here because I know you're probably rubbing your eyes saying, is that serious? Handball will be a medal event. Skateboarding will be a medal event. Softball, which was at one time a medal event, but no longer is, believe it or not, I think they're calling it breaking. Breaking. I think the official term they're using is breaking, but essentially it's breakdancing. Yeah. The Olympics has just completely gone off the deep end looking for a younger audience. I mean, okay, skateboarding, snowboarding, half pipe, moguls, all those sorts of things. Okay, fair enough. But yeah, breaking the Olympic Boogaloo. I want to see, absolutely, I want to see someone do a dance called the Olympic Boogaloo. Wow. I like that. B-boy. Okay, they once gave medals for landscaping. Get this. They once gave medals. Here is some interesting stuff. They once gave medals for art in the Olympics. For, I think it was poetry, for painting. They used to give poetry and architecture. Can you believe it? So I guess breaking is not completely out of the question, but it was surprising. And I think I threw a few of you off on that one. Slam poetry. Slam poetry. Jerry, Platinum Rose Lady, Michael. Welcome, Michael. Bluebell Spike, Vincent, Planet Res, Teak Vandergarden, G Mac, Gene, and Anime Bleach Bay. You know what? I'm going to update the scores because I didn't do it at the end of the last one. I thought we had one more movie question to go. I had lost track, and we got into the Olympics, and I can't remember. So this is where we are right now. This is where we stand. Tron is in the lead. G-Mac, Brian, Robin, Linda, Vincent, Jessica, Delboy, Steve, and so on. A lot of players with 160 points. What does that mean? That means there's a lot of players who are waiting for GMAC to put in his score and they will follow along behind. Okay, maybe it's not, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's someone's tactic, and you know what? Not a bad tactic at all. So let's move on to the next one. This is also an Olympics question. So that question was about which one of those is not. Which one of those is not going to be an Olympic event? So I think I may have given this away. I don't know. This next question, I think, is going to be about which were Olympic events. I can't remember the question. Okay, which of these has never been a Summer Olympic medal event? So 3 of these were at one point, but 1 was not. Which has never been a medal event? Is it croquet, snooker, cricket, or tug of war? It has never been a medal event. You know what? I think I got this one wrong. What on earth was I doing? No, I think I got this one right. The answer is snooker. Sorry, I was going through my mind of actually putting this question together. And sorry, I confused myself there. So croquet, let's pause here for a moment. Croquet was, cricket was at one point in the 1908, I think it was. Tug of war, yes, they used to have tug of war teams, country versus country, pulling on a rope. That's simple, that's straightforward. But snooker was not. This is why I messed myself up. I actually had ballooning. In 1900, ballooning was an event in the Olympics. And by ballooning, I'm talking a hot air balloon where they would hop in, drop the weights, and off they'd go. And I guess they wanted to find out who could go the farthest. I think that was the deal. And I think somebody went like 700 miles or something like that. But I don't think it was an official medal event. I just wasn't sure about that. So I took it out at the last second and I put in snooker. So that's why I did that. Okay, so let's see how we did. Let's move on. So that was question number 20. So that was the last question for the Olympics. That means that was the last of section 5, and we're going to update the overall scores. But let's first pause right here and see how we did on that one. GMAC was in first, followed by Giotti, Roy, Malthus, DB Sagacious, and Hampstead. I'm going to try something. I'm going to create a poll just to try this. I mentioned this the other week. My Q on my keyboard doesn't work, which is pretty strange considering my name and what I do. But I'm going to put a poll in here. Now, I've never tried this before. I just want to see if this works. You may recall at the end of the last quiz, I did 20 questions. I took off for about 10 minutes, and then I came back and we played 20 questions. We had about 15 or 20 people show up. I don't know if you enjoyed it or not. I had a bit of fun with it, and maybe you did as well. So let's see if this works. I'm putting in a poll. I just want to see if this works. Oh, there we go. So would you like to play 20 questions? So at the end of this quiz, if we have enough players, I'm going to do it again, probably about 15 minutes after the quiz ends. And basically what I do is just do a game of 20 questions. You ask me questions. I think of a person, place, or thing. And then we see if you can figure it out, just like you did when you were kids. It's just for fun. It's just to be a little bit silly and pass some time. But we did, Jerry said he watched the replay last week. Yeah, I did post the replay on the channel. It's just for fun. And that's why I do this, just so we can have a little bit of fun. So I know some of you can't stick around, but it looks to me, if I look at the poll, I don't know if you can see the poll, but we have 74% say yes out of 46 votes and 26 say no. So listen, it doesn't matter to me that you said no. It really doesn't bother me at all. I just wanted to see if the poll worked more than anything. But if you'd like to stick around, I'm going to do that just for fun. So I'm going to end that poll. Now I know that the poll works. So let's refresh the scores. Let's take a look and see how we stand moving into the last set of questions, which will be mixed knowledge, just random stuff. Tron is hanging on for dear life. Tron 3205. You know what? Tron may be new to the channel because I really don't recall seeing Tron in any of our prior quizzes. If Tron is not new, my apologies, but I really don't remember seeing you around. Then we have GMAC and we have Brian 52008, who also may be new. Vincent, Jessica, Delboy, Revolver, MG2175, Teak, and Malthus. So we're going to do 4 more questions. Is Tron a bot? That's a very good question. Maybe Tron is YouTube behind the scenes, a bot who has access to all of these. Maybe it's Watson. Maybe it's the IBM computer Watson. 75 people watching, but only 48 votes. That's okay. So let's move on to. I stopped the poll before we had everyone vote. So let's move on to the last 4. And at the end of the last 4, we are going to show the scores and we're going to have the prizes. I want to remind you that if someone has won a cash prize in the last 28 days, they will not be able to win a cash prize today. So even if you don't come in first, second, or third on the scoreboard, you may still win a cash prize if you're in the top bunch. But the prizes are $25, $15, and $10 Canadian, respectively, in first, second, and third. Last week's winners were Robin Cotton and Planet Rez. And this week it could be you. I want to say one more time, thanks again to Hampstead for sponsoring the channel. That was very, very kind of you, very generous, and just very cool, I think. But if anyone knows a big corporation who has deep pockets, who would like to sponsor the channel and give us huge prizes, you're welcome to pass this on. One last thing I want to mention. I am going to be taking a bit of a break from quizzes for about a month or so. But I am still going to be doing the live quizzes every Saturday at 11. That's not going away. But I need to give my brain a rest. I've been fighting, believe it or not, I've been fighting again with YouTube. I don't know why, but I don't know why. But on my Mr. Quizster channel, the other channel, they are doing something that is just really frustrating. They are claiming copyright on all of the quizzes that have a certain piece of music. So I'm going to have to get rid of all those. Anyway, the point is, for the next month, I am going to be uploading all of the alphabet quizzes. I'm going to repost them, and I am going to put them here on Quizzit. So we're going to start with the letter A and go through. It was either that or not have any quizzes at all for the next 3 weeks, but at least it'll be something to keep you going. So if you do remember seeing them, you can see if you remember them. And if you're new to the channel, it is just every quiz is a different letter of the alphabet. So we're gonna post those here on Quizzit. But the live quizzes will continue every single Saturday at 11. So here we go. Moving on. Sorry to hold the show up there, but I just wanted to let you know what's going on so that you understand why you're going to be seeing those quizzes. So here we go. The last 4 questions. And these are going to be multiple choice, or mixed knowledge, pardon me. 21. According to the old sea song, how many men on a dead man's chest, yo ho ho and a bottle of rum? Is it 14, 15, 16, or 18? And you know what? This one I got wrong. I thought I was going to ask this question. Questions just pop into my head. This is how I come up with questions. People sometimes say, how do you get your questions? I think of stuff. My head's full of garbage. And I would have got this one wrong. I would have said the answer is 16, but it's not. It's 15 men on a dead man's chest. And I should have known that, and I did know that at some point, but if I had answered this, I would have got it wrong. 15 men on a dead man's chest, yo ho ho and a bottle of rum, said the old sea dogs, the pirates. Who got this one? It is Hampstead, Cockney Carnivore, G-Mac, Jerry, Platinum Rose Lady, Peter, Brian, Lucy, Jessica, and Teak. Okay, moving on to the next question. Which of these 4 sporting balls is the heaviest of the group? Not the heaviest of all balls, but out of these 4. Is it a volleyball, a softball, a croquet ball, or an American football? Which of these 4 balls is the heaviest of these 4? Okay. Volleyball, softball, croquet, or American football? 6 seconds left. The answer is a croquet ball. It may be the smallest in volume, but it is the heaviest. Volleyball, softball, and American football, they're much larger. They are all filled with air, but a croquet ball is the heaviest. It is a pound, 16 ounces to be precise. All of those are below 16 ounces. Some of them are close, but it is a croquet ball. I don't think we lost too many people on that one. Teak got it first, then Jerry, Malthus, Anime, Bleach Babe, the Cockney Carnivore, Barbara, Delboy, Robin, Spliff, and DB Sagacious. And we're moving on to the next question. Wackford Squeers and Newman Noggs both appear in which Charles Dickens story? Is it Nicholas Nickleby, Bleak House, Great Expectations, or David Copperfield? Nicholas Nickleby, Bleak House, Great Expectations, or David Copperfield? Wackford Squeers and Newman Noggs. He does come up with some interesting names, does he not? What Charles Dickens story? Looks like most of you got this one right. It is Nicholas Nickleby. Nicholas Nickleby. Now, when we get the scores up, I'm going to pause because we have one more question to go. And let's see how we did on this one. So I'm just going to pause here. So first was G-Mac, then Barbara, then Johnny, then Jerry, Teak, Linda, Delboy, Lucy, Jessica, and DB Sagacious. That is the scoring for 23. But G-Mac had a malfunction at the junction. For the last question, not this one, for the previous one, he typed in the number 33 as his response. He double-clicked the number 3. He would have got the answer correct, but the system picked up the number 33 as a response, not 3. Therefore, he did not get a score. Why is that important? Well, that's important because he may have just dropped down a few pegs and someone might have leapfrogged into the lead if he was in the lead at that point. So here we go, moving on to question number 24, the final question on the quiz. Good luck to all, and let's see how you do. Question number 24. Where on your body will you find your vastus lateralis muscle? Is it your neck, your arm, your torso, or your leg? Your vastus lateralis is a muscle found on your neck, your arm, your torso, or your leg. Seven seconds to go. I think we lost a few on this one. I think a lot of people said torso. A lot of people said torso. However, the vastus lateralis muscle is in your leg. It is, I think, the largest of the, if you look in your quadriceps, kind of on the outside, it is the largest of the quadricep muscles. So who knew? Well, somebody knew. Let's find out. I'm going to continue. let's see the scores for this one, and then we are going to update the scores for the final tally. That's what I get for copying people. Exactly. Teak came in first. And then we had Magic Cat, H Moneybag, Jessica, Roy, Tron, Lillian. I think Lillian is new today. Welcome. Steve, Country Bumpkin, and GeoWiz. Those are the scores for the question that we just had. But let's take a look. I'm going to refresh the total leaderboard. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is it. It's on the big screen. It is Tron, GMAC, Teak, Jessica, Brian, Vincent, Delboy, Steve, Revolver, MG2175. Malthus was right, the Cockney Carnivore. You get the idea. Yeah, this one was a little bit tougher. And I want to thank you all for playing. And if you'd like to stick around, I'm going to be back. Once we end this stream, I'm going to be back in about 15 minutes. I've got to do a few things to get this stream uploaded. And then I'll be back with the 20 questions live stream if you'd like to play that. But I want to congratulate everyone who won today. I'm going to refresh the scoreboard so we can see who the cash winners are, because we do have some new cash winners, of course. And that is Tron, Teak, and Jessica. Tron in first, Teak in second, and Jessica in third. Of course, GMAC is in second place overall today, but he was a winner of a cash prize in the last 28 days. So those are our 3 cash winners. And that is... that's pretty good. I'm going to let that scroll down, and we are going to end the stream in just a few moments. But I want to thank you all for playing. By the way, the top score on the leaderboard in the upper right corner was cut off today. The top score line on the leaderboard was cut off. Was it? Let me refresh that again. Let's just see. Tron. It looks to me like it's there. Tron, GMAC, Teak, and Jessica. Bye all, and tougher than usual, but really fun. Bronwyn, you're very welcome, and everybody, you're very welcome. So let's see here. I'm just, I'm going to let the list complete. Well done, winners. 8th to 24th. Protocol to claim the prizes. All you need to do, Teak, is go to, in this channel, just go to the About section, okay? Go to the About section, and you're going to see an email address. You know what? Let me see if I can get it. You know what? I don't like leaving the email address in here because I get all sorts of spam if I do that. So please go to the About section of Quizzit and just go to where you'll see the email address and send me an email. All I need is... Tell us about Hampstead's amazing products. Well, let me tell you, he's got a clothing line, as I mentioned. He also is going to be putting out an electric automobile, competing with the Tesla. It is going to be solar powered, so you can only drive it in bright sunlight. Yes, to me, oh Jerry. And we're going to be moving on. So thanks a lot for playing. I've let the leaderboard scroll through. Thanks so much for playing. I will be here every Saturday at 11 o'clock a.m. Pacific time. But keep in mind that the quizzes that I'll be posting for the next 3 or 4 weeks will be repeats of the alphabet series. But if you enjoyed them, they're coming back. And if you're new, then you can do that. So yeah, just send me an email. And with your email address, I will send you an Amazon gift card or code. So thanks so much. Whatever you choose to do today, please enjoy doing it and have an awesome afternoon. I'll be back in about 15 minutes for the 20 questions.